Hello, Self, Ohana, Cosmos. It's Soul Dr. Nick here. Magic Mirror work for April 9th, Wednesday, 2025, around 6:30 in the morning right now, which means that we're just about at sunrise. Um, it's cold, a bit headachy. Had a big night last night doing a breath for a dear couple, a friend of mine, and just, wow, so grateful to be doing this work. And, whew, it's not easy. And I had a great chat with my dear friends Francis and Johanna about building, buying, developing piece of land and home, and then had a great chat with my dear brother Brent, who really started stepping into his own business leadership and leading me towards what I want for Ohana Sage, for X Camp, for Intersection, commitments to work, plus a great call with my dear friend Matt, consult with Ohana Sage, and just being able to reflect back, what does he want? What's going on in life? Where things are with acceptance, with trust. It's a really powerful day yesterday, and being reminded what's possible. And amongst all that, taking the time to relax, to chill, to watch some of Bosch Legacy, to be with my son and my family, to make time for spontaneous things like picking up my beloved. And she was really thrilled about that. And it's in the little things, and then having lost my AirPods, I thought, for a day, and then searching for them and then finding them in another bag because I retraced the steps. It's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And really grateful I found them, and such a reminder of all the times that I've lost things, and my story that I lose things, and that I am going to lose things. And I can't have things like that because I'm going to lose them. And as well, there was a moment I was like, am I supposed to have these? Because EMF and all that stuff, non-native EMF. And then I used them briefly this morning to listen to a couple messages. And that's the best time when they're really useful in the moment. The wired stuff hasn't been keeping up in terms of the technology, at least from Apple. So getting a different pair of wired USB-C earbuds, probably would be a good idea too. And then, getting up this morning and strange dreams and a bit headachy, going through a deep breath, augmented, and then being reminded and getting a message from my founding partner, Matt, this morning about my question. I'm so grateful because my mind had gone to, oh my God, how do I ask them for anything? Because they never answer. And I'd forgotten they were in Nepal. And so the moment he gets a chance to answer, he answers. And acknowledging that is going to be important. I didn't yet. And then what is the plan right now for operations, for marketing, for what we're doing next? Okay, that's a big component of this. Oh, aya naka chikatu. And it's scary. It's scary for me to see. It's scary for me to look at just base numbers, calls, connections, how to have the different platforms, the different ways to have the message spread. Planting the seed for a few ideas for what's possible. Having a little webinar, a regular webinar for the next couple months. That's even just 3 webinars over the next 3 months. Can always create more, but maybe as a baseline, 3 webinars, right? Hello, welcome. Welcome to Ohana Sage, welcome to X Camp. Don't need everyone else on there. Thank you for being here. Soul Dr. Nick, founder of all this. Coming together to create this. And it's a reminder, what's unique about this is it's a mirror that, as much as possible, is actually not just reflecting you in real time, but it's actually listening to your soul in real time and modifying it. There's a few things. It starts even with just simple things like the playlist, the music. It gets created for you, by you, through you in a way. It gets changed on the fly if it needs to. There's adjustments that are made. And it's always interesting when an adjustment's made. I don't know why. Why am I adding the song? Why am I changing the order of these songs? And then sometimes it's me letting go of my ego. I had one participant who I had to keep changing songs for. Everything was nope, 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 nope. And she was finally getting used to being able to ask for exactly what she wants, to choose life the way that she wants it to unfold. And then there's the part of the medicine protocol. Having worked with so many different medicines and protocols and having tried everything, it's like, how do we tailor it to what you need, what you want in that moment, what you're trying to achieve? And most of the time, it's creating a level of safety, heart openness, self-intimacy, so that you're actually ready to unfold into the next layer, the next layer, the next layer. And it starts even before the medicine, because most people are so focused and fixated on the medicine. Okay, how do we actually get you clear with your own intent? Because it's scary to speak to the dreams. Not just the absence of fears, it's not just running away from something, but what do you want to run towards? And even better than that, you'll see is you're not actually trying to run towards it. What are you manifesting? And if before that, it's what am I already grateful for? What do I want to be already grateful for? And it goes towards wanting again. It's this loop that you play with the mind. It's a loop with time, dilating it. It's a loop even to get to the point where you realize and landing back exactly where you are so that you can live life exactly as you do. Even me in this moment. This is what I've chosen to do. All these choices have led to right here. I'm doing exactly this. And then even going before that, it's realizing that, oh, you are your own medicine, having a breath session. Oh, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. This is me. I can tap and tune into this medicine, rise it up at any point in time. Oh, and then even before that, what's my body trying to talk to me all the time? Oh, what have I been storing in there but ignoring? And I've had stories, people who are like, oh, everything is fine. But then I suddenly have explosive diarrhea. Everything is fine, but now I'm throwing up. Everything is fine, and then my body does this, has these violent shakes, has these tears. Because we can fool our mind over and over again, it eventually catches up in the body. And it's not to say that what's happening in the body is your fault. We can talk about the different sources of toxicity, of poisoning, of challenge that we're putting in our lives. None more so than the invisible forces that we're not even aware of. We're aware of that Twinkie that we ate. We're aware of that bag of chips. But now we're learning more about the microplastic, the PFASs, the different chemicals, the different compounds, even the idea now of what about all those things we thought were good or told are good? All these replacements, all these supplements, all these things. What if they're actually causing more harm than good? They're again masking things just like the pharmaceuticals might be. And what if even beyond that, it's all this non-native electromagnetic frequency stuff. The wiring, the cell phone towers, every single wireless device now. The fact that we've got cables and conductors and everything else below us. The fact that with all these regulations pointing towards quote-unquote safety, we've lost sight of what is actually safe. We've lost sight of the question. This is the thing that I appreciate Elon Musk asks. He's like, the best engineers aren't the ones that are able to optimize everything. They're the ones that are able to take a step back and say, why are we even optimizing this in the first place? And so, for example, something like asbestos came about for good reason. If we optimize purely for flame retardation, it's fantastic, but we didn't look at everything else it might be causing. And it's the same idea of spraying down all children's stuff with flame retardant material, and then our children are constantly being exposed to all these chemicals, which may prevent them from dying in a tragic fire, but may be stunting their growth in the tragic living. And then we're doing that with so many different things. And I recognize that too. Like this tiny device I have in my hand that can talk to satellites. How ridiculous is that? How powerful must the EMF be there? And how can I have this near their bodies? Is that actually good or safe for them? Are we designed to be especially in contact with this frequently? All right, if I told you we were going to take this powerful, potent medicine that connects you into the cosmos, you'd probably say, well, maybe you don't want to do that all the time. One second. I'm Remembering this is Magic Mirror Work. It's for me, by me, through me, as me. Hello. Hello, self. It's nice standing by the fire. And then recognizing, in talking about this, my own marketing plan, who am I willing to bring in? Who am I willing to enroll? How many people? Minimum of 6, maximum of 12. We really want this beautifully tight, intimate group of people who've really figured out how to be providers, but haven't learned how to truly provide for themselves, the people that they love, because there's a piece that's missing. I really like that. You've learned already how to be a provider, but you haven't figured out how to truly provide. There's such a truth to that, because you've learned how to play this game, but you haven't learned how to play this game in a way that really is, you haven't learned what the game you want to play is. You've learned how to play the game, but you haven't learned what game you actually want to play. All right, so a couple key lines there, key possibilities. And for a lot of people, it's playing the money game, playing the job game, playing the status game, playing the approval game, playing the false freedom, I get to do whatever the fuck I want, whatever I want game, but not even realizing that the game that you want to play before that is with absolute freedom. What is it that I would actually want to choose versus what is mimetically patterned in that I'm trying to imitate choosing? And noticing when that happens, when we tell ourselves things like, oh, I haven't bought anything new. Oh, except for that latest iPhone, the latest AirPods, the latest clothes here, the latest that there. Those are just the things that I need. Are they the things that you need? Are they the things that you need? Or are they things that you want and pattern in? And I use the joke yesterday. I can see this. I have a ridiculously powerful computer. Likely overbought. I did overbuy. Let's be clear. I did 100% overbuy. Have a ridiculously powerful iPhone. I could have made do with something less, and I've already recorded so much video and used up the storage space so many times that totally worthwhile. Totally worthwhile. So it's finding that intersection. It's not because it's the best, because it's the worst. It's what are the tools that we're really using right here, right now. And then noticing that there's that other trap that's there, right? I'm going to notice my own traps for you. Well, I could have gotten a different camera. I could have gotten a different device to record myself. I could have done this a whole different way. I could do this with any device. Did this with a 3-year-old phone that has this much storage. So I didn't need this. It helps. It makes it more beautiful. It makes it easier. But it wasn't needed. Got it. So I could have done this with $1. And I'm grateful I've got more than $1 to do this. So it's just being able to say, am I happy with the choices that I've made at this moment? Yes. These lovely AirPods. I thought yesterday that I'd lost them. I was like, fuck. And then it's like, all right, $175 down the drain. And then I retrace steps, and then I had to retrace myself to find them again. And then as I'm doing that, noticing my own stories, I always lose things that are valuable, that are small, can't do that, can't be with nice things, all this stuff. Don't have my name on it, no one's gonna know. All this stuff. Yeah. Yep. So interesting. So interesting. And then taking a breath. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this life. Thank you for this life. I'm going to go back over for a second. It's almost time for my call with Marika, operations call, looking at all the people. Founders call, looking at what's up, looking at the marketing, looking at my commitments, our commitments, bigger commitments, looking at what set pieces there, looking at the podcast, looking at the present, looking at the past, looking at the future. I'm willing to fill at least a quarter of this camp, if not even half of the camp. What are we each willing to fill? I'm willing to have that number go up as I fill it. It's not like it's done just because I fill that. And right now I already have Sean that I feel is already there. I feel Altaz is there. I feel anyone who spends enough time with me is there. But that's in my eyes. Like, how could you not see this? That's part of my own frustration. But there's something that's blocking, that's in place. And part of it's my own money stuff. So that's the piece I'm working on right now. My own money stuff, my own wanting, my own desiring, my own frustration. Why can't you see my value? That's part of my story. I can try to de-ickify by saying, why can't you see your value or invest in yourself? But there's a part of it, why can't you see my value, is why can't I see my value? And it's to keep circling back, seeing the pinkish, yellowish, orangish clouds along with a little bit of blue sky in the distance. Thank you, sun, for coming out and peeking out. And part of it with my own founding team is to keep saying these things, not because they're the truth. It's not the whole truth. It's just a fraction of the truth. And that's the thing that so many of us, I get caught up in, is it's all or nothing. I'm either all selfish and caught up in the story and the secret manipulation, or I'm not. Versus there's a percentage of that. It's an old patterning. I could blame my parents, but I learned parts of it from them. And sometimes it's really useful to have that. What I'm trying to create right now, something that is such a beacon for authenticity, transparency, intimacy, that the souls, the bodies, the minds of others can see through it, which is perfect because it's helping me refine things. I don't want to overpromise. I don't want to put us on a different track. You're here in some way because you're a good enough provider to be on this kind of technology, to be here, to have heard from someone, to be here. Great. You're here because you want to initiate some kind of change in your life. It doesn't mean that there's something to fix. And let's notice that right away. Nothing's broken. Nothing needs to be fixed. This is exactly where you needed to get to, wanted to get to, in order to have this level of consciousness, this conversation right now. And that also doesn't mean that you need to go forward and ahead with us. Rather, today I want you to have enough value to see, what is that I'm actually looking for? Okay, am I hearing the things that are resonating with me? Are there key words? Are there key messages? Are there key synchronicities? And if there aren't, it's okay to say no. In every yes, there's a no. In every no, there's a yes. You want to find your no's and you want to find your yeses. We want to be with those who are really committed to taking the time, energy, and space to set through this whole container. And we're really committed to, if this isn't the container for you, really supporting you through something like this to find what container serves you. And this isn't for the faint of heart. We want to make sure that you realize how safe it is. Absolutely safe. You're going to be guided into and out of the medicine journey. And it doesn't mean medicine is for everybody. And it doesn't mean that this is the right way to serve medicine. There's so many people that do it in their own way. And I could speak to the myriad ways, and I'm not going to today because there are a myriad of other ways and modalities and teachers and guides. And thank God there are. We're not all here to do this the same way. There's not a right way. We're decentralizing even this. And that was part of it. I used to be a medical doctor. When we centralize medicine and we say this is the right answer, it actually allows for less freedom, less play, less expression, and it's actually stifling our growth. We had such amazing exponential growth when we first started because people were like, as long as, and this is the doctors, they were cavalier in a way. But one of the things they almost always did was they tested everything else on themselves or people that they knew first. Can you imagine that? Instead of running a study on random people, it's like, this is either you or your closest people. You have a different level of discernment. And for some of you, when you've got that crazier level, you're self-selecting. Some of the original doctors definitely died. We've heard about some of the big ones, dying of cancer from x-rays, things like that. But how many more of the unspoken heroes that really embrace that methodology? That's part of it here. Everything that I'm inviting you to take a look at, to some aspect, I have experienced. And especially the core of it, I've been through. One of the things I can say to you is like, whenever I'm seeking out a journey, part of me wishes I could have a journey with me in the way that I do it. That's the biggest part. And I have done aspects of all of this. So just taking a step back, what it is that we're doing? What is it that I'm doing? Well, having been through life not taking medicines, I thought were drugs. Having been through life not believing the esoteric, I was material. Having been through life going to almost death, suicidality, trauma, and having gone through life with lifelong asthma, with ADHD, with depression, with anxiety, and then getting to a point where all of those things, really and truly, I'm going to use the words because it's the words that they were used, have been resolved. It's not that they're never present, but they're definitely not the same. I'm taking 0 medications. That part I can be really honest with. And prior to this, 5 medications a day for asthma, 2 times a year of antibiotics, and quite regular use of stimulant medications for the ADD. No regular Western psychological help, and I've been through years of therapy. Waking up with the sun every day, and I've used to sleep until 3 p.m. So there's so many things that have changed. A weight of 165 at my peak, or the lowest of 98, being really unhealthy, blood pressure 150 or 110. And now hovering somewhere between 130, 140, feeling healthy, feeling well. So I'm giving you these baseline parameters just to let you know that my number one thing is living the life that I actually want to guide you towards. Because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of being a charlatan? Oh man, let me show you the way. But for myself, I'm going to ignore all the things because I'm so busy showing you the way and having that be a surrogate marker, trying to get money versus living the life that I want to live. Of presence. And for me, it's being present with my attention. Where do I actually want to be? Even present with my attention when I'm watching some quote unquote junk TV in my head. Love watching some shows that I've binged in my life. So, gone off on many tangents, coming back to us right now. And I've gone off on those tangents just to remind you, each and every one of you has your own tangents. Have created paradoxes in your life. Have created so many patterns and loops that if you really wanted to detangle your mind, you would go through a little bit of psychosis. And I've been through that. I've been through some psychosis. I've been through some losing of myself completely. So tightly gripped to your identity. There's a part of you that wants to change, but part of you is so secure with your stuff, with your story, all those things. And to help remind you, you don't have to let go of any of it in a sense. It will still be there. You can always pick it up again. It may feel not the same way though. So let's be a little transparent. You maybe get really icky feelings for picking it up again. But if it's really true to you and important to you, for example, my children, I say children, interesting, I use that word. My family, my beloved, I know they got me, I got them for life. I'm not worried about that piece. But where am I living? What exactly is my career? How are we earning money?